Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and place to be, it's Deb C. That's me, Deb C. Hey guys, happy Monday, and I hope everybody had a wonderful day, a great day, and is having a wonderful week. I'm in my car in my in my garage. That's because tonight you are not going to be getting a video from me about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Tonight I'm going to the movies because, as you know, I signed up for the A-listers, and I try to go once a week to the movies so that I get my money's worth. I'm doing something tonight that is getting me a little nervous. I'm going way out of my comfort level. I'm going to see the Backrooms tonight. This is a movie that I originally was going to see when it came out opening weekend, but I got so nervous about seeing it. But I've seen everything else that's out, just about. And so the other movies that are out, I'm not really interested in seeing. This one has me a little nervous. So I'm going to get really far out of my comfort zone. I'm going to go see Backrooms. I will let you know what I think of it. All right. I will see you guys later. Bye. Oh, and this is me before Backrooms. Okay. Wish me luck. Hey guys. All right. So this is me after Backrooms. I feel crazy. I feel, oh, okay. So I'm confusion. I feel confused, and I feel confused. Okay, so in case you didn't know, I went to see Backrooms, and it was a movie that I was nervous about seeing because it's a horror movie. I'm not super big on horror movies, but this was getting a lot of buzz, and people were saying it is more of like a psychological horror with some body horror in there. And yeah, I was tensed up like the entire time. I did not see the whole movie because there were some scenes that I had heard about, and I just didn't want to necessarily see that. So I closed my eyes. One scene involved the Christmas tree, and I didn't want to see that because I had actually seen it, a little bit of it on TikTok, and I didn't want to see it on big screen because we have a little mini Christmas tree up like year round in the other room, and I didn't want to get nightmares because we have that up. So also there was a scene where Clark's manifestation of himself in the form of a giant pirate snacks on his neck, and there was one whole scene where there was like copies of people and they were edible. I didn't necessarily want to see that either, so I shut my eyes. Okay, so in case you didn't know, so the Backrooms, it came out from A24. It's directed by not Zane. Why can't I even think of his name now? Kane Parsons, the youngest director that A24 has ever signed, has ever had working for them. So anyways, I cannot remember the name of, I know the lady that's in it is Renata Reinsva, who is in, it is tough to think after this movie. Anyways, let's forget about okay, the main guy that was in it that played Clark, his acting was probably the best. Renata Reinsva She was good too, but his was the best in the whole movie. If that movie is nominated for anything as far as Oscars go, it's going to be nominated for set design. The found footage in it, I enjoyed the found footage. I thought worked. I was going in thinking, oh, found footage. The last movie I saw with found footage was The Blair Witch Project, and I thought that was stupid. So I was like, but the found footage in this was pretty good. Okay, so the whole deal is Clark is a guy who had just recently, was thrown out of his house by his wife, and he drinks too much, and he is now sleeping at this furniture store that he works at. His therapist's name is Mary. So one day he's downstairs, notices that there is a light coming from the other side of this wall. Puts his hand through, realizes, holy shit, there is this, you can walk through this wall. He does that, and he finds room with a whole bunch of furniture just piled on top of one another. He goes exploring, and he's like, uh-oh, listen, I gotta get back out, and I'm gonna get my coworkers, my employees, and we're gonna check this out. But before he does that, he tells Mary, and Mary's like, I don't believe you. That sounds kind of odd. And then he's like, I am going to find it, and I'm going to bring more out, and then you're gonna owe me an apology. And guess what? Spoiler alert, he never makes it out. So she goes in looking after him. I don't understand why you would. Now listen, if I was her, I would maybe go over, and then if you could see that, you can put your hand through a wall, here's what I would do. I would put my hand through, and then I would reach it back out, and I'd be like, that's cool for me, missing person report. But instead, no. She goes through this whole thing. I'm going to tell you, when I got out of that movie theater, I wish I could play the audio that I left for my good friend, Kristen Burns. Hey, Kristen. Kristen loves all things spooky. Like her favorite Halloween. Her favorite holiday is Halloween. She absolutely loves horror movies. And I left her voicemail saying, among other things, I feel like I'm crazy. Like this movie, the ending was at the end, and I'm not going to tell you what happens, but at the end, I out loud said, wait, what? Just like that. And I literally sat there like this. I was looking around like, is this just the one room, or is there a back rooms? It was one of the oddest movies that I had seen. Now listen, it was odd. And I went to the restroom, and I saw these two ladies that were there, young ladies, and I said, well, did you see the back rooms? They said, yes. I said, am I the only one that was confused by that? Were you confused? And the one lady said, I was confused. And the other, we all agreed that it was odd. It was odd. So it also made me gassy. Maybe the back rooms didn't make me gassy. Maybe it was the chicken fingers and popcorn that I shoveled into my face. That could be the reason. Okay, I'm not going to blame the back rooms on me being gassy. So, was it a good movie? Here's the thing. I don't feel like I am equipped to give it a review by saying like, was it good? Was it not good? because I know nothing about the lore. I didn't watch. I mean, this comes from videos that originated on YouTube from Kane Parsons. I didn't watch any of them. So I went in completely cold. I mean, I knew the story of what it was like, Clark's story, but it's a lot. Like so there were like people in the one scene, because in the one scene when the Mary is walking around, you know, in the back rooms, and then she thinks she hears somebody and turns out to be Clark. And I was like, don't trust that dude. Don't trust him. He's like, you know me, don't trust him. So then he tries, spoilers, he goes and chokes her out, but not to the point where she's dead. He ties her to this chair, and she's sitting in what looks like it, which is a room, but it almost looks like a kitchen. And she's at this table, and there's like these people, like there's this dude sitting at a table that has 6 eyes. Like his eyes were here, and his eyes were here, and then his eyes were here. And then there was a lady standing behind Clark, which I think was his wife, and she had a messed up face. And then there was a little dwarf a little dwarf who was sitting on a chair. I think that was maybe I don't know who the guy was. And he had a lamp, and he had a messed up face, like a swirled up face. And they were copies. And then Clark, like, I didn't see this because I didn't want to see it. He like cut a piece of this person, and he's like, you can eat copies. And when he put it down on a plate, it looked like, oh my God, I hope this doesn't ruin white cake with white icing for me. It's my favorite kind of cake. Oh no. I just thought about that. And so, okay. So then, oh my God. Okay. So before all this happened, oh my God, I don't know if I can talk about this now. I'm going to confuse everybody. Oh my God, this is the worst review of a movie ever. Okay, I'm not getting close, but there's some back and forth between Clark and Mary. And Clark, before he goes in there, he feels like he doesn't have anybody, and like, you know, he's done everything wrong and he doesn't have anybody. But then in the back rooms, he feels like he has people and he's not a screw up. And like, this is a place where he can be free. He can be himself. So she's like, if you want, you can stay here, but how about you just let me go? And he's like, okay, I will. I'll let you go. And then this big giant pirate that looks like Clark, but is like 10 feet tall, comes in and picks Clark up, and Clark's like, it's okay. She is our therapist. She says I can stay here. She says, you know, it's fine. And then, I don't know who says it, but we find out that like, not only are copies edible, but then Clark is too. And he takes a chomp out of his neck. I didn't watch that because I know that I would have nightmares, but I've seen TikToks where people are like, he eats them. And so then Mary escapes, and we're thinking that she finally escapes and she gets out. But then does she? Because at the end, this includes all kind of spoilers. So she ends up in this place called Async Labs. And the guy, and she's talking to this guy, and she's like, well, what's going to happen to me? Am I allowed to leave? Am I allowed to leave? And he doesn't answer. And then it ends with her sitting in the back rooms with like a messed up face like the others. And I was like, what is this? Did she get out? So you're like, did she get out or didn't she? And then I watched some TikToks and people were like, that is a copy that was made by the Backrooms because the Backrooms misremembers people. So all of those things that were back there, like those people in messed up faces, those were copies. Oh. And the pirate was like a manifestation of Clark, like all of Clark's like trauma or yeah. And I heard people say that once Clark got there, the Backrooms started like clipping his thoughts and putting them on a loop. So the people now, what if the people that are in there with the messed up faces are copies, but the people got out, but those are copies that were made. So once anybody enters there, there's a copy of them. It's crazy. Like, honestly, if you want to go see a movie that makes you feel like you don't know if up is down or whatever, like I was sitting in my car. I was going to say ask Kristen, but you can't. I was sitting in my car and I was like, is this the Backrooms? It was nuts. I'm going to go watch something funny now. So listen, I don't know what I'm going to give this. On a scale of 1 to Fruit Loopy, it's over the moon Fruit Loopy. Like, if you enjoy some psychological horror that makes you tense, I was tense the entire time. So much so that I almost choked on some water. Oh my God. It was crazy. It was nuts. If I'm giving it full on Fruit Loops. Okay. So listen, if you've seen the movie, let me know what you think. And hey, if nobody told you yet today, you're loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another and treat each other the way that you want to be treated. Also, let's be aware of our surroundings, be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with a bunch of water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are always sending out our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy so you make it through. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow because I've got to rewatch Real Housewives of Rhode Island, make my notes. I also need to watch McBee Dynasty because the 4th season, I believe, is starting tonight. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys. Bye.